Hey there, it's Councillor Glen, and this is my update for Saturday, September 21st. I will say from the get-go, I am recording this on Friday afternoon on the 20th. I don't usually do this, but on Saturday morning, I'm attending a strategic workshop with Habitat for Humanity first thing, so I won't have time to do the video. So I'm here on a beautiful sunny Friday afternoon recording the update. And I'm at a location that's not actually in Stittsville. I'm at Mad About Patchwork, which is just south of Stittsville. And I'm here to check out their annual Quilt Walk, which is quite amazing. It's a outdoor display of quilts, of all colorful, creative quilts. You can walk around the forested area here behind their shop, and just some amazing works of art on display. There's a tent with some crafts and hands-on activities. There's a fundraising component here. Now, to find this place, Mad About Patchwork is south of Stittsville. So you're going to head down Stittsville Main Street, keep going south past Fernbank, and then Fluellen, and then Fallowfield, and on your left-hand side you will see Mad About Patchwork. So really great place to check out. This is on all weekend long, and great works of art and amazing crafts and craftsmanship to explore at Mad About Patchwork. This has been a really busy week. I have a ton of updates. There's been some good news. There's been some not so good news. I'd like to start with some good news, a whole bunch of good news things. First of all, Maplewood Secondary School, Stittsville's new public high school, will open and welcome students on Monday. And I know students and parents and teachers have been anxiously awaiting this moment. It's finally here. As of Friday morning, it's passed all its building inspections, safety inspections, so it will be opening to students. Thank goodness. More good news. The Abbott Tall Tree PXO, now I haven't seen it with my own eyes, but as of Friday afternoon, it was supposed to be activated. The pedestrian crosswalk, it's a great connection between Tall Tree, St. Jean-Paul de School, and the Westwood neighborhood as well at the Trans-Canada Trail. So that's good news. More good news. The pedestrian bridge connecting Baldcypress to Bliss is finally open as of last week. That means that Abbotsville Crossing and the new Bradley Commons neighborhood are connected. And if you live in Abbotsville Crossing, you've now got a much safer and more convenient way to walk over to Hazeldean Road. So that's good. More good news. The Stittsville Youth Centre is back. They are reopening again this week on Wednesday. It's at Frederick Banting High School on Stittsville Main Street. They're going to be open after school on Wednesday and every week after that. So youth grades 7 and up basically are welcome to attend that. Now it's located at Frederick Banting, and Frederick Banting was in the news. Frederick Banting used to be Stittsville Public School before they moved that school over to Granite Ridge. And in 1986, the students there buried a time capsule, which was recently unearthed during some landscaping work at that location. And there was a great interview. If you can go to the CBC website and look for the Ottawa Morning page and find the interview with some of the people who were students back then, who were responsible for the time capsule. They unearthed it, they opened it up, and a great interview on CBC Radio about what they found inside. So check that out. More good news. We got an update on fall tree planting for the city. There's about 125 or more trees that city crews are going to be planting this fall in September and October. Some at parks, but the vast majority as part of the Trees and Trust program. So they'll be planted in people's front yards, which is great to see that incredible interest from residents. Now, it's too late to ask for a tree or order a tree for this year, but if you call 311 or go to ottawa.ca, search for Trees for Trust, you can get on the list for next spring. It's a really great program. Thanks to everybody who's participating in that. And the other piece of good news, I've known this was coming, I guess, but the proposed development for 1518 Stittsville Main Street, known as the Station, they hit pause on that, and they had to do a bit of a redesign, and they've taken out underground parking from the design, and they've reduced the number of apartments a little bit as a result. But there's a new site plan that they've submitted. You can find that on my website, but it's good to see that project is moving ahead again, and hopefully we'll see shovels in the ground ASAP, as soon as possible. So that's a lot of good news. The bad news and the not so good news, I'll start right into it. First of all, really bad fire, not in Stittsville, but just across Terry Fox on Hazeldean at Castle Frank, in a strip mall with a number of small businesses. Some of them Stittsville owned. I'm sure employees who live in Stittsville. I know a lot of Stittsville residents who are customers at these stores. Could be arson. The Ottawa police are looking for any information that people might have, but really, really unfortunate to see fire affecting those local businesses, and sending out our thoughts to all the business owners, especially who've been affected there. We also got the bad news this week that Equator, the coffee shop on Stittsville, Maine, that replaced Quitters, closed this week. Their last day was Thursday. I know for me it was a place where I had lots of community meetings and catch up with friends and contacts, and always a great time on the patio out back. So sad to see Equator leave our community, and we're waiting to see what might be next in that space. Support your local coffee shop. They are incredibly important to the social and business ecosystem of our communities. 6310 Hazeldean Road was at City Council, part of a very busy day at City Council. It passed. City Council approved it. There were 5 votes against it, including myself. I know I spoke about this last week. Don't really have a lot to add. I'm obviously disappointed that we weren't able to get confirmation from staff about Hazeldean Road and Carp Road being built sooner rather than later, but it is something I'm continuing to work on. It's my #1 local budget priority, and obviously a huge priority to improve the transportation network here in Stittsville. So stay tuned, because I will probably, I will be having, once we hit budget time, some opportunity where residents can get involved, and we're going to organize a bit of a campaign at budget time around Carp Road and into our transportation master plan as well. So stay tuned for that. At City Council, we passed our budget direction, so we gave a framework for staff to come back to us in November with a draft budget. It includes a property tax increase of 2.9%, so a little bit higher than previous years. We've done 2.5%. And then the transit part of taxes is unknown because we are still waiting to see what funding, if any, we get from the federal and provincial government. So transit taxes may very well go up if we don't get that funding, because we certainly don't want to cut service, and we want to limit the amount by which we raise fares. The other thing at City Council was we had a big debate over whether or not LRT should run every 5 minutes or 10 minutes during off-peak. So off-peak would be middle of the day, and it would be after rush hour in the evening. So looking at the numbers, during rush hour we have an average of 5,500 people riding the train per hour during rush hour, and the trains have a capacity of 7,200 people per hour when they run at every 5 minutes. In midday, though, the number of riders dips down to half of the rush hour ridership, an average of 2,600 riders. Now, if we run trains every 5 minutes, that means the trains are only about a third full. And so that's why OC Transpo has decided to move trains to every 10 minutes during that off-peak, midday, and evening when ridership is just way lower. They've been watching ridership with return to office for federal public servants. It has not bounced back significantly, and certainly not in those midday or evening periods, but they're going to keep monitoring that. What we often see in September is a bit of evening out or sorting of ridership. So if we do see a strain on capacity during those off-peak times, we can always go back to 5 minutes, but 10 minutes is still a very frequent service, and many transit systems across North America and Europe and around the world do have different frequencies for rush hour versus non-rush hour, and 10 minutes is very much in line with what other cities do. You may have heard we are in a big budget crunch for OC Transpo in general. If we do have any money to invest, I want to see that invested in more in our bus network, where we do have buses at or very close to capacity. So that's where we need to be focusing the money. I've shared all these data and information on a post on my website if you go to glengower.ca, so you can see that data and how I came up with my decision in a difficult debate on Wednesday. One other thing from City Council, and this is also on my website, we had to do kind of a procedural decision around wetlands, and it's related to a number of decisions by the province to change how wetlands are evaluated and regulated, and it meant changing the evaluation of some wetlands west of Stittsville from provincially significant wetland to non-significant wetlands. So the province has kind of stepped back that regulation and oversight. The city is stepping up, which is good. If you're interested in that topic, please check out my website, and also check out the website of the Friends of Stittsville Wetlands, because they are advocating and following this very, very closely. So thanks to the Friends for that. Some general community updates. We have some construction work starting on Monday on Abbott Street between Terry Fox and Cranesbill and Rouncy, so the roundabout there. It's to do some utility connections in anticipation of new homes being built on the north side of Abbott Street. There will be a lane reduction, but there'll still be a lane in each direction. That's always a really busy stretch of road though, so please be aware if you can find an alternate route, please do. We'll have city traffic inspectors keeping an eye. It'll remain open for pedestrians and cyclists with a couple detours in different stages of the work. More information on my website. On Thursday, I believe it is, there's also some overnight work happening near Abbott and Robert Grant to do some utility work, but we're doing it overnight so we don't interfere with school traffic. And our snowplow team reached out today and wanted me to remind you or let you know that they're doing some snowplow training, snowplow driver training in the Blackstone neighborhood. So you might see some snowplows, and it's in anticipation of winter, but it's not winter yet, but we do have to start training the drivers. On a related topic there, the contest is still open for Name Our Plows. So if you're a child or a kid or a young adult or youth, you can submit a name, a creative name for Ottawa snowplows. Information on my website about that. Nominations are open now for the Immigrant Entrepreneur Awards, and Ottawa firefighters will be knocking on doors looking to test your fire alarm and raise awareness about the importance of fire alarms and fire safety. So information about all of that is available on my website at glengower.ca. Quickly, some upcoming events before I wrap up. We're looking forward to first Saturday in October. The Alfred McCoy Park commemorative naming is happening. Everyone's invited. You can find information on my website. This weekend on Sunday, the Stittsville Girls Hockey Association is welcoming a very special guest to one of their practices and games, Rebecca Leslie. She is with the Ottawa Charge in the Professional Women's Hockey League. So I think the public's welcome to that. I'm sure you can find information on the Stittsville Girls Hockey Association website. Go Rockets. We have an event calendar where we share information about upcoming events in the community. There is so much going on, too much for me to mention here in one of these updates. Go to glengower.ca/events and you can find the listing there, including this quilt walk here at Mad About Patchwork. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy this beautiful weekend ahead of us, and I'll talk to you here next week. Take care.